market dropped again today, over 1%, with the Fed decision and subsequent press conference. Now, I did a full video breaking down my outlook on QQQ and the S&P 500 yesterday, but when I asked you guys today, what stocks do you want me to go over, the S&P 500 and QQQ were number one. So we're going to do it again. We're going to talk about the current state of the market, why I think there's about a 65% chance that we're going to correct between probably 8 to 10%, what I plan to do, and number one, why you should not freak out. Right? Before we get into any of this analysis, I don't care if this is boring. If you click off this video, it's something that needs to be said. Corrections happen, people, right? The market does not always go up. And if you want to last, if you want to do this as long as I have been doing it, you have to be okay with it, right? The world wasn't over when the market crapped the bed last year. The world wasn't over when it sold off in 2022. If you're somebody who's looking to trade or invest and not lose any money in the short term, put your money, not financial advice, put your money in treasuries and bonds and walk away, because you're not made for this, right? Trading and investing comes with downside. It comes with max drawdown. The market will not go up forever. You cannot be right all of the time. Shit, I am never right all of the time, and that is okay. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that no matter where the market is, whether it's 2022, market crash in 2020 from COVID, whatever it is, the best way for you to handle it is by remaining calm and by being emotionless, right? Number one, if you are trading or investing, you're doing this for freedom. And the last thing that you should do is allow money to affect your psyche, right? When I was dirt fucking broke to where I am today, I still never let money affect my life, because the whole point of doing this is freedom. And if you're freaking out and you're upset about money all the time, then you're just still a slave to a different game, which is not what I want to do. So I know it's hard and I know it doesn't happen overnight. Try your best to really emotionally detach from all of this, detach from the headlines, detach from the bullshit on X, the posts that are meant to get you upset, that's most likely AI slop, detach from it all and breathe, right? Because if you're going to do this long term, you have to be detached and you have to be emotionless and you have to make the best decisions on the game board. Now, with that said, for those of you who are still here 2 minutes later, let's talk about where the market currently is. The first thing that we're going to put up is my long-term model. Now, I want you to understand what this model's job is to do. It is meant to find bull cycles, multi-year long rallies where the market or any stock is going to enter into a bull cycle and a massive multi-year, like we said, move to the upside. Now, this indicator has an accuracy up here at the top right of your screen of only 55%. So that means that it's very good at finding these massive rallies, but the accuracy is pretty low. The reason for that is you can see that there are just a couple of times where that trigger will be met and the market doesn't rally. It pushes a little bit and then price pulls back. Here, you can see price pushes up, pulls back a little bit. There are going to be a couple of these times where it just doesn't catch those rallies, but here's the thing. If the market goes on a massive rally, this indicator is going to catch it and this long-term strategy is going to catch it. What makes this strategy so damn strong is the risk versus reward. And so when you're thinking about a strategy mathematically, you have to think to yourself, what is the way that I'm going to make money? What is my edge case, right? The edge case that you have with any strategy is number one, high risk versus reward, decent win rate. That's what this strategy does. Risk versus reward means if I'm going to be putting money at risk, how much money on average am I going to make every time I risk it? And this is 8.4, which is your expected value. You'll see that with this win rate at the top right, your average win or the average rally that we see in the market is 30%. Your average loss is 3.6. That means you're getting paid almost 10 times when you win versus when you lose. So what I try to tell my students and my community members is take a coin, flip the coin 50 times. Every time it's heads, write down $10. Every time it's tails, write down -$1, and then tally up your profits at the end of 50 flips or 100 flips. It is insane how much money you would make. But the thing that I want you to do, and don't just sit here and be like, oh yeah, just actually do it. Like just spend the next 15, 20 minutes doing this. What I want you to notice when you track the heads versus tails is there are plenty of times that you're going to hit tails 3, 4, 5 times in a row. And just because you don't win all the time, and just because you hit tails multiple times in a row, doesn't mean that the system doesn't work. The way that I want you guys and girls to think, and we're getting very deep into the psychology part today, but we will cover the technicals. But the way I want you guys and girls to think is that you are the casino. If somebody comes into my casino and I'm a casino owner, and they win 5, 6, 7, 8 hands of blackjack, and I'm on a losing streak and they're on a winning streak, do you think the casino worries? Do you think they freak out? Do you think they get emotional? No, because the casino doesn't matter if they win today or tomorrow. They know that their edge will win over the long term and nothing will beat the casino. And that's the way that we have to think. It's why risk management is so important. It's why we don't take our full portfolio and throw it into one stock or one call option. That's suicide, because eventually you're going to get caught with your pants down. Now, in the case of QQQ, as we said before, this strategy, very high risk versus reward, very decent win rate. The other way to be profitable is our short-term signal strategy, which has very high win rate at about 76% with decent risk versus reward of 1-to-1. These are two separate systems that are both extremely profitable. One is more psychologically appealing with a 76% win rate. One is just purely higher risk versus reward, which is going to yield better results. So I want you to look at your screen here, and I want you to think to yourself, is this currently in a bull cycle? Is the long-term model bullish? No. The long-term model removed its bullish outlook at the end of February. And I posted about this initially to the Discord and to our X community. Now, this long-term indicator essentially goes off of this at the bottom of your screen. This is called a BX trender, our entire trading system. All the indicators completely free down in the description. No bullshit. I literally nothing from you. Just go download them. This shows buying pressure. I cannot understate or overstate, I should say, how important it is to buy during bull cycles. When this indicator is green or light red, you essentially can buy any dip that occurs in the market, right? At some point, you're going to lose. That's okay. We can't win all the time. But as long as you're trading with that macro bull cycle, you're going to do really well, right? For instance, this would have kept you out of that pullback in 2022, that whole bear market. This would have kept you out of the recession or the correction in 2018. This would have kept us out of, most importantly, guys and girls, the 2008 financial crisis. This would have also kept us out of the dot-com bubble. So this indicator and this model does a really good job of keeping us out of catastrophic situation. So I am looking to trade massive bull cycles. I'm looking to sit out of catastrophic situations as best as I possibly can. My fund is still down this year, and I don't care about being right. I don't give a shit. I don't care for clout on the internet. I don't care. What we're looking at right now with QQQ is obvious selling pressure, right? The monthly BX is obviously red. We're still holding this support level. The trend is still bullish. But the thing that I want you to understand is that if we don't have heaps of strength coming into the stock market, the chances are that each and every single bounce that occurs here is going to lead in a further sell-off. And this is why, if we go to the daily chart, I've been bearish, because each and every single time that price bounces, we end up making a lower high and we continue to sell off. And so this is another reason why I believe the market is going to continue to sell off, and I am bearish at this point. Now, as I want you to understand, and as we look at the S&P 500 as well, just because the market is bearish does not mean that I'm shorting. It does not mean that I'm grabbing puts. It simply means that I'm going to take my losses in tech, which are happening right now. We have a lot of stop losses hit in March, unless the market fully recovers. And then I'm going to rotate into sectors that are meeting my criteria, sectors that are looking good. And if you want me to talk about what those sectors are, comment down below sectors. The worry I have right now with QQQ is the fact that buying pressure is getting pulled out of it. It seems that retail, which is, X and YouTube and everybody else, thinks that this is the bottom. If you take a look at this volume profile indicator, which, like I said, all of those indicators are free, but the volume profile is under step 3. This indicator is going to show us where the most amount of trading has been within the past 150 weeks. These thick blocks that you see here, like from $628 to about $600, these areas are major supports and major resistances. So this would be major support, major resistance. This level down here, major support, major resistance from about 530 to about 520. These thin areas that you see right here, this is where they have volume gaps. And in a bull market, this means price is going to break out. However, in a bear market, this means that price will free fall very, very quickly. And so my fear here is that if we're seeing buying pressure, right? I personally don't care about the macro environment, even though that will affect the price of the stock. I cannot focus on that. I cannot control what happens in Iran. I can't control any of that. What I can control is what's in front of me. What is in front of me is bearish buying pressure and a huge volume gap to the downside. That's what's in front of me. That's all I can look at. That's all I can control. And so if my system is saying that this is not bullish, my expectation is an 11% move to the downside. I'm not going to short. I'm not going to get put. I'm just going to rotate. I'm going to take the short-term losses that I see in my fund, right? Last year, my fund pulled back about 20% in April, and then I ended the year up about 58%. So more than fine, okay with short-term losses. And I'm just going to deal with it. If we look at SPY, you'll see essentially the same situation, right? Now, the S&P 500 is still technically in a bull cycle until the end of this month. If this month ends with the monthly BX being red, then the cycle is over. You will see that the S&P 500, just like QQQ, has a huge gap on volume down here. So best case scenario, the market bounces literally right now, right? S&P 500 bounces at 650, QQQ bounces at 600, and this is the bottom. If price starts to break down, which unfortunately I think it will, then this gap to the downside will happen quick. Probably within 2 to 3 months, I would expect a 10% move to the downside. Worst case, maybe into July and August. And so with that information, as I said before, I'm not going to short. I'm just going to have the expectation that the market is going to pull back. And what I'm looking to do is now rotate into stocks that and sectors that are looking very, very strong and rotate out of big tech. And here's the thing. If I'm wrong, if the market bounces, which there's a good chance I could be wrong, right? Like there have been plenty of times where price just bounces a little bit and then continues to drop. Like for instance, 2018 fell a little bit, then recovered. Here in 2018, I would have been totally wrong. I would have been expecting a continued sell-off and then it recovered. But what this is going to help us do if we're trading in the S&P 500 or big tech is keep us out of catastrophic events, because the truth is nobody expects big tech companies to burn. But it happened, right? Like nobody expected Netflix to crater 70% in 2022, but it happened. And so in my opinion, what we really need to focus on is just sticking to the system, sticking to what's in front of us, being okay with being wrong, and more importantly, protecting our downside as best as we possibly can. I hope this video helped, guys. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support. Check out all the indicators and free courses down in the bottom. We have new ones on the way. I'll see you guys tomorrow.